Hi everyone, welcome to Midcorp's presentation today. I'm Cheryl Jen. I'm the sales manager at Midcorp for our European market. And besides me is Mr. Dario. He works with the product marketing team and he works very closely with our product engineers for the newest development on the Videoscope. So today we're going to showcase you the Taiwan Excellence winner, the X2000 system. And also we're going to share some exciting product news with you. For our new products. And first, let me briefly introduce about Midcorp. Midcorp is a manufacturer of industrial video scope for 17 years. So since 2003, we have been focusing on developing the most innovative products of the industrial video scope. 30% of our employees are RD engineering. They're focusing in the field of optical system, mechanical, and electrical engineering. That's why we can always bring the highest quality product to the market. Now, let's just start it with this product here. And the X2000 models consist of a console-based unit, so the screen unit here, and also it has an articulation probe here. And the articulation probe is basically acting as an extension of our human eyes and can take us into any machines for detailed inspection. And as you can see, the top of the probe consists of the illumination lighting, the camera modules, and also the very, very important is the lens optical system inside here. And the optical system is, the probe comes with different size. So this one is a 6mm one. And according to your machines, the entrance point, you can pick the size you need for the probe, also the length you need. And here, the probe is controlled by the joystick here. And it's a 4-way articulation. So you can see it can place this way and the other way also, and here, and also this way. So for example, this articulation is almost over 150 degrees, so it's a very, very good articulation angle for inspection. Now, Dario, we know there are different ways to trigger the articulation. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, sure. So commonly we have two types of ways to bend the probe. The first one being a motor. So basically you have a motor attached to the system or to the joystick, and once you move the joystick, the motor will work and then bend the probe.
Like this.
The problem with that is that it will take power from the main system because obviously you have to work a motor.
Yes.
So that means it will drain the battery faster. The other problem is that it will take up space because obviously you have a motor attached to the system, and it will be heavier.
Yes.
Yeah, so all of these are not so good for mobile applications or when you have to be highly agile, right? So that's why we decided to instead go for mechanical wiring. What that means is that inside the whole probe are wires which are actually moving once you pull on the joystick, once you move it in any direction. The advantages are obviously that we don't have the disadvantages I just mentioned about the motor, but also that you have an instantaneous feedback. So that means as soon as you move the joystick, you don't have to wait, you get an instant response. The movement is linear to that of your joystick as well because of the wires. So it means that you have a true feedback, a true feeling of how the probe is actually moving. When you actually touch it, it's very convenient to move around in the engine like that. Because, for example, a motor, sometimes it takes a little while to move actually the probe. So you will move the joystick, you will hear the motor work, and then the probe bends. So this is not so good for an intuitive feedback while doing an inspection inside of an engine, a gearbox, or whatever.
Of course, thank you. So thank you for sharing us with the benefit on the mechanical design of the probe triggering. I think it's very important for the user. And also, the other thing is the material of the probe. So the X2000 probe is a tungsten steel material. And the reason we choose to use this material is because it gives the hardest protection for the probe for any outer intrusion. Also, because it's tungsten and it's tightly braided, it provides IP67 protection, waterproof and dustproof, and so on. So, Dario, could you explain why this kind of high protection is so important for the probe?
Yeah, sure. So you have to imagine about like where you're actually using it. So the applications, right? So let's think about a gearbox, a generator, an airplane turbine, anything, right? Any kind of machinery where you need a visual inspection. These are usually very confined spaces in which you move, and usually, you know, different metals are used for these machineries, right? So you will scratch this probe when you use it. You will bump into things, and this is basically unavoidable, right?
Yes.
So that means that this probe needs to be very resistant. That's why we chose tungsten, because it's very scratch resistant and it's very reliable over a long period of time. About the IP67, so you have to imagine, let's say, a gearbox, right? There will be oil inside. There might be water inside. There might be any sort of liquid inside. And we want to make sure that the probe remains operable in these conditions, right? So because you have to make sure that you constantly can work on these machineries without any damage to the probe. Another thing is we didn't talk about yet is the heat. We also chose tungsten because it can withstand up to 100 degrees. And this is very important because some of the machineries can get very hot.
Yes.
For that reason, we also implemented a 3-stage temperature warning system into our X2000. So that means that when you reach 60 degrees, you will get the first warning. The second warning will trigger at 80 degrees. And the last and final warning will come at 100 degrees. And if the temperature exceeds 100 degrees, the system will automatically shut off to prevent damage to the probe.
Wow, so that's definitely an upgrade from our previous model.
Yes,
because the X1000, as I remember, only provide protection up to 60 degrees.
Yes.
Now it's up to 100. So it's a very good upgrade for the users. And your mentioning of the aircraft inspection reminds me of the selection on the probe lens. So the DOF, the lens provide. DOF means depth of field, so it's the focus you can have on the probe. When you're inspecting a turbine engine of aircraft, you are inspecting from a far distance, so you will need a far focused probe. And for smaller space inspection, like automobile engines, it's a smaller space, so you will probably need a standard DOF probe. And this one we have here is a standard one. It provides a DOF of from 1 centimeter to 10 centimeter. And of course, we have the far focused one available too. So now let's just take this probe into the, we have this demo cube here that we can show you some image. Let's see how the image plays out in inspections. So let's zoom in on the screen so we can demo some of the important software features for you. Let's take a look here. Okay, so, okay, here, Dario, could you bring the probe into the inspection and we will see, yeah. So firstly, I wanted to let you see the image quality here. As you can see from the screen, here the scales are very clearly. The distance from the these scales to the probe is about 3 centimeter to 5 centimeter, and you can see how clearly the image is. It's definitely HD image, and if you're taking a picture, the picture image is going, the resolution will be enhanced to super HD. So it's enhanced by software. That's a real benefit of this system. And now if you take a look at the color chart pie, and you can see these colors here are very vivid, and it's just the same, it's the same color reflection as from our naked human eyes. So the color reflectings are really good. And I wanted to also demo the features here on the console. So here are some basic buttons. This is for photo taking, and this is for video. This is for zoom in and zoom out, and light adjustments are here. This is just to go back to the screen, and the power function, the gallery, and also here is the power button. And if we come to the touch screen menu, there are also some features available here. And first, let's take a look at the light adjustment. So the light adjustment, like see if you see some dark part like here, and you wanted to adjust the light to show a better view. Okay, this is a very, very good feature. You can see here. So here it's brighter and now it's darker. And also we have a light boost feature here that you can use. For example, if you are entering a very big dark space and you really, really need to see something smaller object in the space clearly. So we're imitating a very dark environment there. And once I press this, yeah, you can see some enhanced exposure on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly, but we have a good view here on this spot. And then what I also wanted to show you is especially for the casting unit, some object, like if you're expecting some object, metal objects, you can use this negative view to show the textures on the metal parts. So it gives better view for your judgment on any cracks or any scratch on the metal. It shows the depth of the texture. Another thing we can do here is we can adjust the white balance, the color. So you can either go back to default, or you can do a collaboration, or you can do a custom color. So if you think the red color will enhance your judgment on inspection, you can always move this scale here to adjust the color. Now we can go back. And then what's also here, you can see these two features. One is particle free and the other is dual view. And those two features are using with our mirror adapter. So we have this mirror adapter inside our package. And with this mirror adapter, also one provides side view, one is dual view. You can easily adapt this to the probe head and change the view as you like. So it's a very, very easy and convenient solution if you need to see the sides or the side and the front view at the same time. Okay, a lot of users are very curious about our reporting system, of course. That's very important because we all need to do our reports for inspection. And then if I go back here and I can show you from our setting menu, if you press here, and then you can see here, session, tag, and watermark. So before you take your picture, you can always preset this. Session here, we preset it to client A and client B. And if I go back to the setting and I can use tag, and here we preset it to engine 1 and engine 2 inspection. And you can choose the location you want it to show it around the picture. And you can also use the watermark here. So you can customize your own logo, or you can use Midcorp logo. Again, you can choose the corners you want to show, and the timestamps is here too. So these are all preset. And let's go back and take a picture here. Okay, and then we can go to the gallery, and we will see exactly here is showing the things we wanted to show on the picture. Okay, another thing you wanted to do is you can add note to the picture. So it's tapping 1, 2, 3, and then you can drag this note to the place you want it to show, like this. Yeah, so you can mark your note. Another thing we can do here is I can do a compare view. So if I press compare, and then you can see Dario here is helping me to show the live picture of an inspection. So you can do a comparison with the picture. And also if you take another picture and then you go back to the gallery, you will find a comparison for before and after picture. So it's very useful before you are cleaning your machine and after, to show that to the customer. And the last thing here we wanted to do is to show you the Wi-Fi features here. And the Wi-Fi is an enhanced function on X2000 only, so it's definitely an upgrade feature. And let me go back to the setting, and we found the Wi-Fi feature here. And once I enable it, we can connect this machine to our phones or tablet for a real live connection. And you can also share the photos and anything you recorded in this X2000 onto the tablet or phone. Like here, as you can see, we have a live view. Sorry, let me connect it again. So just like that, we are showing a live view, and you can share all the data between. So it's very useful when you have a second viewer, or you just wanted to share an instant video or photo to your customer through your phone. So I think, Dario, that's enough about our X2000, and it's about time that you give us some exciting news on the new product.
Yes, sure. Let me just zoom out for a second.
Okay.
Move this out of the way. And then I can show you what we have for today.
Okay.
So if we look here, it's very exciting news. We see what we call the X750. The X750 is pretty much the younger brother of the X2000, but it's has the same power, right? And the first thing you will notice is that there's no display which is separated from the probe. So actually it comes in a one-hand operatable system, right? So we have a 5-inch LCD touchscreen attached to the interchangeable probes. Now, what we also did is, because this is, as we can tell already, this is designed for highly mobile operations and applications. So what we also did is we came up with a system. I hope you can see that.
Let me just zoom in for a better view to show.
To have the probes attached, right? We call it roll-up tubes. Now, the second thing we can do is take it, and I have it like this. We can simply have it like
Attach
this.
it to.
Yes, and we have a one-handed operation. This is very useful when you think about applications in, let's say, wind farms, wind turbines, where you constantly have to climb up things or climb down things, and where you need basically your hands free at sometimes, right? You see, it's no problem. What we also did is, so the probes are the same ones as the ones we saw on the X2000. So we have full HD video, super HD images, and the same material, right? The tungsten, the articulation, everything is the same. On top of that, we have a new camera, which is when we zoom in a little bit.
Okay, show that.
Which you can see here, right? So we have an LED and a camera here. And this is to take photos of, for example, the gearboxes or the generators you are inspecting. So that means because we have the same file management system you just showcased in the X2000, right? This means that you can take photos of the object itself, what you're inspecting, tag it, and then use the file management system to sort your photos during the inspections, right? When you think of a wind farm, this comes very handy. On top of that, we have another function which makes this even better. We have a GPS mark function. So that means that you can geotag all the photos you're taking, right? So that means you not only see which gearbox it is, but you see where it is, right? This can be very handy if you think about a wind farm. To change the probes, you take off the screen and you change the bottom part. And as I said, we have the same probes available as we have for the X2000. Another thing which is very good for mobile applications is that we have exchangeable Li batteries, and we have a little battery pack here, which is very lightweight and very small. And you can see how easy it is to actually change the battery. So this makes this whole experience very, very handy and very, very mobile for any applications where you need to move around a lot, where you don't have much space, and where you need a lightweight solution.
Wow, that's a very good alternative. So depending on your application need, you can choose either both models to suit for the best use. So I hope we showcase the products in the way that you would understand. And if you have any question for us, please feel free to contact Midcorp anytime. We'll be happy to assist. Thank you, and bye-bye.